Tubi has a bunch of great movies for you to watch this June. How to Watch Free TV has a couple of amazing picks out of the hundreds they're tossing up this month. And after this video, you'll have 5 free movies that you need to catch on Tubi before June ends, selected by me, your free TV expert, Perine. We all know there's a ton to choose from, and we're just picking a couple favorites. If there's anything you'd like to see featured, you should shout it out in the comments and we can make that happen. Let's get into it. First up, Challengers. Now, this pick was all over the place when it released in theaters, and it might go even harder for free. Zendaya stars in this drama between the tennis court lines. She plays the apparently irresistible Tashi Duncan, and opposite Z are Josh O'Connor and Mike Faust as Patrick Zweig and Art Donaldson. Basically, Tashi was poised for tennis stardom before an injury derailed her career, and that would be wild on its own, but Patrick and Art were completely infatuated with her when they were younger. A bet between rivals sours into something more gripping. The trio are all reaching for their dreams in this one. Things don't go the way Tashi expects for her, but the boys end up caught in her wake because of their own drive and fixations. And all of this leads to a challenger event in New York where Patrick and Art are on a collision course for one last match against each other. All of this drama and sports drive is accentuated by director Luca Guadagnino's deft control of the story through camera. Each member of this triangle is privy to just a certain amount of information. There's a paranoia and an energy that grips challengers, especially when Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross's score kicks into gear. The techno and tennis never really linked up in my brain until after a screening of this movie, and now it makes total sense. Challengers is simmering, and you believe these young men would basically run over their friend for Zendaya's courtship, and honestly, relatable, shout out Tom Holland, etc., etc. The camera work with the tennis balls is scalding, and there's some truly next level VFX work here too, so that's awesome. Luca was absolutely zooming during this one, and it's an absolute smash at home for free. That's available right now on Tubi. Second up is Holes. An internet favorite comes home to stream for free. Shia LaBeouf and Cleo Thomas become a core part of most kids' memories as Stanley Yelnats and Hector Zeroni in Holes. Tim Blake Nelson and Sigourney Weaver as Dr. Pendansky and the Warden take a bow. So many fun performances here. Okay, so you probably don't need me to explain Holes, but young Stanley Yelnats ends up at Camp Green Lake because he caught a bogus case. He befriends our boy Zero, and they begin an adventure to figure out why this correctional facility has them digging holes in the desert because of this inhumane heat. Director Andrew Davis really captured the kind of wistful nature a summer reading book puts out there with Holes. There's a reason everybody loves both the book and this movie so much. As an added bonus, this is a rarity in our world of free streaming movies and TV. Holes is a Walt Disney Studios film, and as you're well aware, a lot of these live on Disney Plus and very rarely leave. So getting to watch Holes with no subscription is like hard to come by in 2026. The movie does still really feel like a warm memory. I'm hoping it will be for you too. Holes has a 77% on Rotten Tomatoes, and that audience score isn't too far behind. I think it's about 1%, possibly. It's so enduringly popular that the 2003 feature was being discussed for a sequel series on Disney's streaming service itself, and you can decide for yourself. Go watch it and watch out for the wildlife, okay? Number 3 is I Saw the TV Glow. Director James Schoenberg's second feature is a doozy, especially if you're one of the kids who really enjoyed my last pick. Yeah, I mean, why would I be obsessed with stuff from when I was younger? Why would I want that? Jack Haven and Justice Smith star as dissatisfied youths in the director's meditation on loving TV shows and media a little too much. Owen, played by Smith, is not dealing with real life well. He's not popular and he's sad about his mom. It's a heartbreaking turn from Danielle Detweiler. She does a great job selling why our boy's so broken up. But in swoops Maddie, played by Haven, who is the only other kid in school obsessed with a TV show called The Pink Opaque. It's on the Young Adult Network, aka not what you're thinking of. Anywho, the two grow apart until strange stuff starts happening, and it's going to make Owen question just about everything. Smith is perfectly muted and befuddled by everything in this film. Haven is self-assured and a great foil for our lost boy. The soundtrack is nothing short of killer, with songs that feel like they could have been in Buffy or Twin Peaks. Connor O'Malley just gets to be ridiculous in himself for about 3 to 4 minutes. Like, what else could you ask for? People online constantly bemoan the idea that nothing original gets made. Nothing takes chances. Everything feels done before. And this movie is a refutation of all of that. In fact, there are like 4 movies out right now that feel like direct arguments to the contrary. Seriously, Fred Durst plays Owen's stepfather, and there's the single spookiest thing on film involving an ice cream truck I'll see until Eli Roth's movie starts rolling later this year. If you love original horror, which I hear a lot of you do, maybe consider I Saw the TV Glow. If you love TV and movies, this might make you think about your own journeys movies with a favorite show. And if you enjoy that, come on back for this director's next movie. It drops this year. Up next, we've got Stepfather. Who would have thought that Fred Durst wouldn't be the scariest stepdad on the list? No offense to any Limp Bizkit fans out there. I too remember the era, ICP and all sorts of other fun stuff. Still, we've got Taye Diggs being menacing in Stepfather, released on Tubi June 19th. This one is a little bit of a wait, but it's going to absolutely be worth it. Chris Stokes is what I would almost say is the master of the Tubi thriller at this point. He's behind the camera for Stepfather. Diggs plays Darnell, a dude trying to grow closer to his new family. He's married to Asia, Tamar Braxton, and they have 2 daughters and a perfect life that begins to unravel when his past comes calling. Stepfather really works because Diggs has played a lot of good dudes throughout his career, y'all. I mean, if they're not outright good, then you know he's charming enough to make you forget about all that. All right. The level of stunt casting worked for Josh Hartnett in Trap, and it looks like we're in some similar waters for Stepfather. These thriller movies from Stokes always seem to cash out on Tubi. People can make their posts online about dialogue choices or whatever, or the effects, but tons of people show up for these films. I'm working on a longer video about it, but if you're a young filmmaker working in the crime, horror, drama lanes, you probably should be considering Tubi just so you can get your movie in front of the most eyes possible. Or, as the discourse cycle wants you to believe, like YouTube too. Be there on June 19th to discuss with us. And watch for yourself. As with all these Stokes and Marquise Houston joints, yes, that Marquise Houston, there will be a lot to talk about. Our final pick is The Older Man and the Sea. Now, with me, there's always one wildcard pick. This time, it's the story of old Frank Rothwell and his quest for world records. The Older Man and the Sea follows the 70-year-old man in question as he tries to cross the Atlantic Ocean alone. Would most 70-year-olds try to cross 3,000 miles of danger by themselves? No. And that's what makes this compelling. Footage from the journey and other attempts make it clear there's a real peril out there on the water. Boats tip over, people sustain injuries, and it's clear our new friend is going to be put through his paces by that merciless ocean. So, director Mark Ingham tries to explain this character as the people of Oldham call Frank often, and we learn why you even get out in that water to begin with. It's a very human impulse at the heart of The Older Man and the Sea. Good stuff, I gotta say. I am such a sucker for a unique documentary. And we began with sports, so why not close with it? I'll always listen to weird sports. That's what I love it. Despite his eccentricities though, you really do find yourself rooting for Mr. Rothwell as he decides to cross the Atlantic on his lonesome. And just because we get older doesn't mean that we can't still have goals. A lot of time, people underestimate Tubi as a place for like silly horror fare and faves from about 20 years ago. Wow, I don't know why they would do that. But all kinds of films and shows live on this platform, friends. Maybe dip your toes into The Older Man and the Sea, and you might be surprised at what you find. Now, you've got 5 awesome movies to watch on Tubi for free in the month of June. That's right, just go do it now. And if you like what we do, subscribe to How to Watch TV for interviews, conversations, and news from around the universe of free TV and movies. We're finding you stuff to watch on a budget, so hit that bell for notifications. And remember, the best things on TV are absolutely free. Thanks for watching.